wasn't clear before that Canadians are now fed up with the changing culture taking place inside of their communities, thanks in large part to policies of mass immigration, the public reaction to 2 viral videos over the weekend showing just that change in culture will make it clear for everyone. The first video is of a liquor store robbery that took place at an LCBO over the weekend. A group of what appears to be immigrants from India are seen brazenly walking out of an LCBO with a major haul of booze. While everyone else in the video was simply watching on, including store employees who did nothing, one Canadian simply wasn't going to have it, and he confronted the thieves with a few well-placed and well-timed hooks. Multiple posts of this video each have over 1 million views on Twitter, and the comment section under each of these posts reveals that Canadians are going through a major shift on this issue, and they are being pushed to their limits. The second video we are going to look at is of yet another international student instructing his followers on TikTok as to how they can save hundreds of dollars a month by getting whatever they want at a local food bank. I mean, come on. We already shamed a YouTuber who made this exact same video last year so badly that he had to wipe his video from the internet completely. Don't make us do it again. The point to all of this is that Canadians are waking up to the reality now that when you import millions of people with opposite values to ours, we don't all just get to live in harmony. Those values can end up impacting everyone else's life. And Canadians seem to be fed up with it. Before we get into it though, drop a like in the video, help us out by subscribing to the True North YouTube channel, and the comment question for the episode is this. Have you seen similar incidents to these happen in your community? Let me know your answer in the comments below, and let's get into it. It's tough to know which video to start off with first. It seems that both of them are basically tailor-made for this show, but why don't we start with the LCBO robbery? Before we do though, I want to point this out. Liquor store robberies happen all the time, but what makes this video different is obviously the social media reaction to it. We've seen robbery videos all over the internet, people walking into stores, walking out with whatever they want, and no one actually stopping them, because it appears as though if you want to stop these people, you're the one who ends up being punished for it. The law is not going to be on your side, so people will just simply watch this happen. Every now and then, however, thieves will walk into the wrong LCBO and be confronted by a Canadian who wants to protect the society that he lives in, the high-trust society that he lives in and that he has come to expect other people will respect. Local Canadian man takes matters into his own hands to enforce order and civility in his community, seeing as how nobody else is. Okay, stop right there. As that thief in the yellow jacket appears to be reaching for something in his pocket, that's when this man gives him the first hook. Well placed as well. This is not the Canada that they have come to know. They've encountered a wild Canadian. I have to say before we go any further, do we condone violence on this show? No. Do we condone vigilante justice on this show? No. But what do you expect from people at this point? Do you really expect Canadians to simply just watch this happen with no response? Of course, someone was eventually going to react. Someone was going to respond this way and take matters into their own hands. This is a natural response when order and civility break down in your community. All right, let's keep going on this. Okay, stop once again. Hear all that? Let him go, sir. He has a knife. Let him go. Let him go. I mean, come on. That is a pathetic response. The LCBO employees you can see in that video who are wearing the gray shirts have their hands in their pockets and are just watching this all happen. Everyone else in that video was either just watching on doing nothing, yelling at him to let them go and to call 911, or, as is the case with the filmer, simply just filming it as one of the thieves walks right past him. One brave Canadian is there trying to stop this from happening. And then as you can see, this brave Canadian gets in about 3 or 4 good strong hooks to the chin. And then you can see the thief in the yellow jacket pull out a Johnny Walker's bottle and is threatening to hit him with it. That doesn't stop this Canadian from getting in one last good hook to the chin. Now we don't see what happened at the end of the video, but that's a lot of damage to take for a few bottles of booze.
That's a lot of damage.
Well, this post on Radio Genoa has over 4 million views on Twitter. As he writes in the caption, "Brave Canadian educates immigrants who steal in Ontario. Education is important." Here we go. Let's get into the comments under these videos. What we are seeing is a normal reaction. A real man defends the natural order of society. This type of action acts as a deterrent to others thinking they can rob a store. Sadly, in Canada, the real man can wind up in prison for this. Simply because, for most part, you are all cowards. This guy isn't defending the store, he's defending his community against this criminality. The police, rank and file, have already showed you they're on the side of the criminal. Only citizens can stop it now. All the cowards that always say things like, let them go, it's not worth it, have been conditioned to act that way. Civility comes with order and mutual respect. The more that crimes are allowed, the more that they will be committed. 6Buzz TV also published this video with over 1 million views. Let him go, it's not worth it. These are the liberal cowards who would rather let this country go down the toilet than the brave man attempting to stop the thieves. It's enough. People want to stand up for their country, and we are not even allowed to do that as it's not our country anymore. Drinks on me for the defender standing on guard for our country, for thee, not for ye. I think it's safe to assume that if this guy's identity got leaked, he would find a very similar response in bars all across the country. He probably wouldn't have to pay for a beer for the rest of his life. That man wasn't defending a liquor store, he was defending his country. So you can see it from those comments. This is not just about a liquor store robbery. Canadians all across the country are feeling this change in culture. Everyone already kind of knows this, right? But this man who stood up for his community, who decided to defend his local community while no one else did and everyone else watched on, will probably end up with a harsher criminal penalty than the thieves who robbed all that liquor. That's just the way it works in our country now. Will those LCBO thieves ever get caught? Probably not. Will the defender who stood up for his community? Almost certainly. Maybe the thieves can drink away the pain of their broken jaw with all that free Johnny Walker. Alright, moving on to the second video, we all knew this trend wasn't going to go away. Remember last year when we made the video exposing all of the international students who are on YouTube and social media talking about how to get free food from the food bank? How to save hundreds of dollars by literally stealing food from the food bank, which is supposed to go to the homeless people in our country, homeless Canadians, veterans, disabled Canadians, not, of course, to international students who are looking to save a few bucks. Well, the trend kind of died down after we thoroughly shamed a few of these YouTubers, so much so that even Mr. Patel, that YouTuber who made the 300,000 view video, the How to Scam Food Banks video, had to pull down his video out of shame. Well, folks, we got another bite on the hook. This time it is Mehul Prajapati with his sneaky little video as to how to scam food banks to save hundreds of dollars every month on groceries. Take a look at this guy's video here.
This is how I save hundreds of bucks every month in food and groceries.
All these groceries for this week I got free.
Right off the rip. How I save hundreds of bucks every month by getting free groceries at the food bank. Mr. Prajapati, are you sure that that food is for you? Or is it perhaps for some Canadian people who are actually in need of the charity? Let's keep going.
This is for everyone, all the students. They even have hot food at our university.
This is for everyone, all the students. They even have hot food at the university.
यहाँ पे most of the universities and colleges में food banks होते हैं, which are run by trusts, churches या फिर non-profit organizations.
So he says here, these colleges and universities make food banks that are run by trusts, churches, and non-profits. Which again reinforces the point that these food banks are not for people who are trying to save money. They're for students and people in the community who actually need the food and can't afford food. It's not a way to save money. It's shocking that we have to remind people who come to this country on the basics of how charity works. You don't scam food banks for people who are actually in need when you can go to food stores and leave the food for someone who actually needs it. Anyway, let's keep going to see what this guy managed to get in his haul.
Let me show you what I got this week.
You can take as much as you want.
You can take as much as you want. All the bananas, all the basic fruits you need, you can take as much as you want.
सारे basic fruits and vegetables, bread, sauces, pastas and canned vegetables, which is subject to availability.
Subject to availability until our friend here comes to the food bank and, like he says, takes as much as he wants. I wouldn't want to go to the food bank after this guy, that's for sure.
This has been very helpful to me as a student. Check with your seniors or university websites and you'll get the location of the food banks.
Well, the viral reaction to Mehul Prajapati's video has been so bad that he has had to, in fact, delete his LinkedIn altogether. Just like when Mr. Patel had to delete his video. Before Mehul Prajapati deleted his LinkedIn, it looks as though this guy was working for TD Bank as a data scientist.